Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. In this video we are going to study about Standard 12 Physics Volume 1 Unit 2 and we will see three topics. Section 2.5.5 that is about potentiometer. Then we will see section 2.5.6 that is about comparison of EMF of two cells with the potentiometer. Then we will study about section 2.5.7 that is measurement of internal resistance of cell by potentiometer. Okay, here you will see at the end of this video that section 2.5.6 and 2.5.7 they both are correlated to the potentiometer. Okay, so first you have to memorize, keep in mind what is the connections, what is the circuit diagram of potentiometer. If you remember only that thing, if you understand only that thing, okay, then the next two topics will become easier for you. Okay, this is too much important for your practical examination. In theory examination, numerical sums will come of 1 mark or 2 mark, or in section 2.5.5, 5.6 and 5.7 from any one of them a 5-mark question will come. Okay, and it happens every year. If 1 year they have asked about measurement of internal resistance of cell by potentiometer, then next year they will ask about potentiometer, then next they will ask about comparison of EMF of two cells with a potentiometer. Okay, so please, just by memorizing the circuit diagram you can write the theory by your own. Fine, so this topic is going to be too much interesting. Okay, so let us start our today's class, but as usual please subscribe my channel Pratik Singh Classes, like and share it and hit the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video you will get its instant notification. Fine. Okay, so let us start our today's class. The topic is potentiometer, that is section 2.5.5. Fine. Potentiometer is used for the accurate measurement of potential differences, current and resistances. That means just with this instrument we can find out three different things, that is potential difference between 2 points, then amount of current I, and then resistance R values. Alright. It consists of 10 meter long uniform wire of manganese or constant and stretched in parallel rows, each of 1 meter length on a wooden board. Okay, so we will see the picture given below. Okay, that we take a manganese wire or a constant wire, okay, sorry, and the length of the wire is of 10 meters but equally divided into 10 parts, that is one of 1 meter, and they are stretched and attached with each other. The two free ends A and B are brought to the same side and fixed to copper strips with binding screws. Okay, a meter scale is fixed parallel to the wire. Okay, to find out at what position we get zero deflection in the galvanometer. Okay, a jockey is attached for contact. Fine. The principle of potentiometer is illustrated in the figure 2.27 which we will see now below. A steady current is maintained across the wire CD by a battery BT. Okay, so till now we see this is the figure of potentiometer. Okay, the circuit diagram of potentiometer. Okay, let me erase these colored sketch for clear visualization. Just a moment. Okay, fine. See, here we see that there are two circuits. Okay, within the circuit, one is this one and one is this one, primary circuit and secondary circuit. Okay, then a battery is here attached with the primary circuit BT. Okay, and between C and D manganese wire or constantan wire is connected. Okay, in 10 different strips each having 1 meter length. So total difference from C to D will be 10 meters. Okay, in the another circuit or the secondary circuit, another cell of EMF Xi is connected with a galvanometer and a high resistance whose value we know, that is again connected to a jockey. This jockey J can slide anywhere between C and D in such a way that if the potential in primary circuit and secondary circuit will become equal, the galvanometer deflection will become zero. Okay, the pointer of the galvanometer will come to the zero position. Okay, so we have to find at which position or at what length of the wire between C and D, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Fine. The battery key and potentiometer wire is connected in series forms the primary circuit. Okay, so here you can see the battery BT, the key K, okay, and wire are connected, and this forms the primary circuit. This is first one. Okay, only this is the primary circuit. Okay, let me erase it once again. Okay, so don't get distracted while playing the video. Physics is actually very interesting and very easy if you concentrate on the words. Okay, if you learn it peacefully. Okay, fine, very nice. The positive terminal of the primary cell of EMF Xi is connected to the point C, and negative terminal is connected to jockey through the galvanometer G. Okay, so as you can see here, the positive terminal is connected to this terminal C, and the negative terminal is connected to this galvanometer G. Okay, and again this galvanometer is connected with in series with this high resistance. Okay, this forms the secondary circuit. Okay, so this here is your primary circuit and this here is your secondary circuit. Okay, fine. Let contact be made any point J on the wire by jockey. So what do we do now is we slide the jockey, okay, over the wire between C and D. Okay, the wire is made of Constantan or magnesium. Okay, they have some special properties. What is that? We will see at the end of this topic. Fine. So what happens there is, at some point between C and D we get the deflection in galvanometer 0. We have to find what is the position. Okay, if the potential difference across Cj is equal to the EMF of cell Xi, then no current will flow through the galvanometer and it will show zero deflection. Okay, so what does it show here? See, we have two batteries, one is BT and one is this Xi, EMF Xi. Okay, because of this battery current will flow. Okay, and because of this cell also current will flow. Okay, what will happen here? Okay, because of this battery between C and D there will be potential difference. Okay, and because of this cell also between D and C there will be potential difference. We slide the jockey J in such a way that a place between C and D comes where if you put the jockey J, the potential because of battery BT and because of cell Xi will become equal and the potential difference becomes 0. So the galvanometer will show you zero deflection there. Okay, so that length, the length Cj is called the balancing length and denoted by a small l. The potential difference across Cj is equal to I into R into L. Okay, where I is the current flowing through the wire and R is the resistance per unit length of the wire. Okay, so hence we will have Xi is equal to I into R into L. Alright, since current I, resistance R are constant, because this R value is of the this one, this high resistance which is already known. Okay, I value is known, then we can say that Xi is directly proportional to the length. That means EMF of the cell is directly proportional to the length of the magnesium wire. Okay, the EMF of the cell is directly proportional to the balancing length. Means if you increase or decrease the length of the jockey or of the connecting wires, the Xi value will increase or decrease simultaneously. Fine. So this is all about the potentiometer which we have seen now. Now coming to the next topic, that is comparison of EMF of two cells with a potentiometer. Okay, means how to find out the ratio between the EMF of two cells. Okay, the connection will be same. Okay, as given in figure 2.27. What we have to find out here is what is the ratio of EMF developed by battery BT to the EMF developed by battery having EMF Xi. Okay, so this value we have to find out. Fine. So let us start section 2.5.c, comparison of EMF of two cells with a potentiometer. To compare the EMF of two cells, the circuit connections are made as shown in figure 2.28. Okay, we will see it now. Potentiometer wire CD is connected to a battery BT and a key in 1 minute series. So as you can see here, okay, this is same. Don't get confused in figure 2.27 and figure 2.28. Okay, let me compare these two figures for you. So here is the battery BT. Okay, another battery here BT. Then here is a key. Another key is here. And in between these positions, instead of only wire, a rheostat is connected. Okay, a rheostat is a device in which we can increase or decrease the resistance so that the current value can be kept at a constant value. Okay, then a cell here is connected, and here two cells are connected in parallel. Okay, having EMFs Xi1 and Xi2. Okay, then Mn is a two-way switch that is called as DP/dt, double pole double throw. Okay, here we have a galvanometer. Again here we have a galvanometer. We have a high resistance here. Another we have high resistance here. We have a jockey here. Okay, which can slide between C and D. And again here we have a jockey J which can slide between C and D. The length of the wire C and D is 10 meters, which is equally divided in 10 strips and stretched between C and D and connected to each other in series. Okay, what we have to find out here is what is the value of Xi1 by Xi2. Okay, now what is a double pole double throw switch, DP/dt? It is just like a bed switch. If you have at your home that a bulb is connected to a double bed switch, okay, in which you can switch it on or off at two positions in the room, okay, where the switches are. Same thing is here, okay, that when M is connected to M1 and N1 is connected to N, the current will flow like this. It will come like this and from this cell and to this circuit. Okay, so here in this situation, this cell Xi2 will not be in contact or will not make the circuit to complete. Okay, this is totally out of the circuit. Okay, and we will only get Xi1, okay, as the terminal or as the circuit, in the circuit from which the current will flow. Okay, in second situation, when we have M attached to M2 and N2 attached to N, in that situation the current will flow in the lower circuit. Okay, like this. 1 minute. Okay, in second situation the current will flow like this. This will be the circuit. Okay, in this situation there will not be any use of this Xi1 in the circuit. Okay, by repeatedly doing the experiments, okay, finding out Xi1 and Xi2 value, keeping HR value changing, means in every different value of HR means high resistance, we try to find out Xi1 by Xi2 value using the principles of potentiometer. Okay, so this is all about how to get the ratio of EMFs of two cells. Okay, now coming to the theory part of the book, what is given here, let us see. Alright, this is a primary circuit. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the primary circuit 1 and this is the secondary circuit 2. Fine. The end C of the wire is connected to the terminal M of a DP/dt. So as you can see, the end C of the primary circuit is connected to M, that is of switch DP/dt, double pole double throw switch. Okay, and the other terminal N is connected to a jockey through a galvanometer G and a high resistance HR. Okay, so as you can see, the other terminal N is connected to galvanometer, then high resistance, and then to a jockey J. Let me clear this figure. let me erase all the unwanted things. Okay, fine. Okay. All right. Changing the color to blue. Fine. Now the cell whose EMF Xi1 and Xi2 to be compared are connected to the terminals M1 N1 and M2 N2. Okay, here Xi1 is connected to M1 N1 and Xi2 cell is connected to M2 N2. The name of the cell is not Xi1 or Xi2. The EMF of this cell is Xi1 and the EMF of this cell, which I am erasing now, okay, is Xi2. Fine. And about EMF you know very well. If you have forgotten, just go through my previous videos. I will provide the card here. Okay, on the top right corner, just click the I button and you will get the link. Okay, fine. And M2N2 is of the DP-DT switch. The positive terminals of battery BT, Xi1 and Xi2 should be connected to the same NC. So as you can see here, for this battery BT we have positive terminal here. For the battery Xi1 we have positive terminal here, and for Xi2 we have positive terminal here. Okay, all the positive terminals are connected to this terminal C. Okay, fine. The DP-DT switch is pressed towards M1 N1 so that cell Xi1 is included to the secondary circuit and the balancing length L1 is found by adjusting the jockey for zero deflection. So what happens here is the DP-DT switch, okay, is connected to position M1 N1 in such a way that the secondary circuit becomes this one. Okay, this becomes the secondary circuit as I am joining the line, blue color line. So this becomes the secondary circuit, and by deflecting or by changing the position of the jockey G on this stretched wire CD, we find at what position we get zero deflection. Okay, and that is called as the balancing length, okay, CJ. Okay, as we have seen in potentiometer. All right, fine. Then the second cell Xi2 is included in the circuit and the balancing length L2 is determined. Okay, then in second situation what happens here is the DP-DT is kept on M2 N2 such that the secondary circuit becomes this one. Okay, like this, and then we find at what position of the jockey of the deflection we get 0 in the galvanometer. Let R be the resistance per unit length. Before that position where we get zero deflection because of this circuit, that is called as L2. Okay, for when we have Xi1 for the secondary circuit and we get zero deflection, okay, that length was taken as L1, and when we have taken Xi2 and we get zero deflection, okay, that length was taken as L2. Okay, let R be the resistance per unit length of the potentiometer wire, okay, that is either magnet or constant M, okay, and I be the current flowing through the wire. So we will have for Xi1 for the first cell of the secondary circuit is equal to IR into L1, and Xi2 second cell of the secondary circuit we have Xi2 is equal to IR L2. Okay, fine. Now we have to find Xi1 by Xi2 and we get Xi1 by Xi2 is equal to IR L1 by IR L2. Okay, IR and IR will cancel out from numerator and denominator and we get Xi1 by Xi2 is equal to L1 by L2. Okay. So by including a rheostat RH, as we have seen here, this is the rheostat. In the primary circuit, the experiment can be repeated several times by changing the current flowing through it. Okay, with the help of rheostat, we change the resistance, and because of that, the current flowing through the circuit changes, and by that we do the experiment simultaneously to find different values for Xi1 and Xi2 ratio, and every time we get it is directly proportional to L1 by L2. Okay, so this is all about how to find the ratio of two cells with a potentiometer. Okay, that is all about section 2.5.6. Now let us see section 2.5.7, that is measurement of internal resistance of a cell by potentiometer. Okay, we know very well that when a battery is attached to an external circuit, okay, the external circuit gives the resistance to the flow of current, but the material inside the battery also gives resistance to the flow of current inside the battery, and that is called as internal resistance of the battery. Now with the help of potentiometer we will try to find out how to get the internal resistance of the battery or of the cell. Okay, same thing is here. Okay, potentiometer, as you can see in figure 2.29, we have a battery BT whose current value, resistance value we know very well. It is connected to a switch K. Okay, then between C and D there is manganese wire, and this is your primary circuit. Okay, again between C and D we have a secondary circuit where we have a cell whose EMF is Xi. Okay, it is connected to a resistance R in parallel, and there is a key K2. Okay, now they are connected to galvanometer, then high resistance, and then to jockey J, which can slide easily over C and D to get zero deflection in the galvanometer. Okay, now see, when we will switch on the switch K1, and current will flow through the primary circuit. Okay, then what really happens is, because suppose K1 is switched on and K2 is switched off, in that situation current will flow in primary circuit in anti-clockwise direction, as well as current will flow in secondary circuit also. Okay, but this resistance will not be in 1 because K2 is switched on. Okay, when we switch on K2 also, current coming at this junction will get separated in two amounts. Okay, they may be equal or different. Okay, one, suppose I1 is going in this direction and I2 is going in this direction, and because of that the value of the resistance will change. Okay, now let us see what really happens here. To measure the internal resistance of a cell, the circuit connections are made as shown in figure 2.9. We just have seen this figure. Okay, the end C of the potentiometer wire is connected to the positive terminal of the battery BT, and the negative terminal of the battery is connected to the ND through a key K1, and this forms the primary circuit. Okay, so here you can see that positive terminal of the battery is connected to terminal C, and negative terminal of the battery is connected to the key K1 to the point D or to the circuit D. Okay, and this forms the primary circuit. The positive terminal of cell Xi, whose internal resistance is to be determined, is also connected to the end C of the wire. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the positive terminal of the cell Xi. Okay, and it is connected to this point C. Okay, all right. Okay, we have to find the internal resistance of this cell having EMF Xi. Okay, it is also connected to the point C. Okay, the negative terminal of the cell Xi is connected to a jockey through a galvanometer and a high resistance. Okay, the resistance value of the HR is already known. Okay, you will see this in your practical lab. Okay, where we will get a wooden box having different resistance connected there. Okay, so here negative terminal of the cell Xi is connected to galvanometer, then to high resistance, and then to jockey. Okay, let me decrease the contrast, it is hurting my eyes. You can increase the contrast of your mobile phone or your desktop or laptop which you are using. Because of high contrast, my eyes are itching very badly. Alright, fine. A resistance box R and key K2 are connected across the cell Xi. Okay, as you can see here, a high resistance is connected with a key K2 to this cell Xi. Okay, when K2 is open, means when we switch on K2, the balancing point J is obtained and the balancing length Cj is L1. Okay, sorry, when this is open, means when we switch off this K2, okay, then current will flow only through this, not through this one, and in that situation we find where is the balancing length on the wire between C and D, and that is the value of L1. Okay, since the cell is in open circuit, its EMF is directly proportional to length L1. Okay, next, a suitable resistance, suppose say 10 ohm, is included in the resistance box and key K2 is closed. Okay, now what we do is we switch on here also. Okay, let R be the internal resistance of the cell. The current passing through the cell and the resistance R, capital R, is given by I is equal to Xi by R plus R. We know very well that I is equal to V by R. Here V is the potential of the cell, okay, Xi, and total resistance is capital R plus small r. It is external resistance plus internal resistance. Okay, the potential difference across R is given by V is equal to Xi R by R plus R. When this potential difference is balanced on the potentiometer wire, let L2 we get the balancing length. Okay, means when the switch K2 is on, okay, then we try to find out the balancing length by the jockey J, and let that length is L2. Okay, so from equation then we will have epsilon R, what I am saying, so we have Xi R by R plus R is directly proportional to the balancing length L2 when K2 is on. From equation 2.62 and equation 2.63 we have R plus R by capital R is equal to L1 by L2. Okay, because Xi R and Xi R from both the equations will cancel out, or when you will do the simple algebraic calculations, you will get here 1 plus R by capital R is equal to L1 by L2. Okay, we have to find the value of a small r, that is the internal resistance of the cell Xi. Okay, so just by taking the things one side to the other, we have a small r is equal to capital R into L1 by L2 minus 1, or small r, that is the internal value, is equal to external resistance R multiplied by balancing length L1 minus balancing length L2 by balancing length L2. Now substitute the values of external resistance that we have seen that it was taken as 10 ohm, then L1 value and L2 value, we get the value of a small r, that is the internal resistance of the cell is determined. The experiment can be represented for different values of R. It is found that the internal resistance of cell is not constant but increases with increase of external resistance connected across externals. That means when we change the value of external resistance, okay, here this value, the internal resistance value of the cell will also change. Okay, it will increase or decrease depending upon how much amount of external resistance is connected to the circuit. Okay, so that is all about to finding internal resistance of a cell using the potentiometer. Okay, so this is all about section 2.5.5, then section 2.5.6, and then section 2.5.7 we have seen today. In our next video we will see section 2.6, that is heating effect of electric current. Okay, this is also related to chemistry, because in chemistry you have to study about thermodynamics or thermal chemistry, where the same topic will come but in some different things, with some different things. There you will see the chemical things, here we will see the physical things. Okay, that when current passes through a circuit, we know very well that circuit becomes hot, the wires becomes hot. Is it possible that if we heat the wire, okay, if we keep the wire at two different temperatures, the current will flow through them. So this thing is going to be too much interesting. There we will have three subtopics, okay, which we will see one by one in our next video. Till the next video, take care of yourself. Bye bye.